Hello everybody, welcome back to today's video. As of right now in today's video, I have officially been home, especially as of the time of recording this. I've been home in Tampa Bay now for about a week, and it's been over a week since we concluded Monster Jam World Finals 24 in Salt Lake City, Utah. It was a very fun trip out there, and I had a very fun time out there in Salt Lake City. So today I'm finally going to give my review and my thoughts on the overall event here in more depth. If you kind of read some of my highlight Instagram posts, you'll kind of see some of my thoughts on the event. But here today, we're going to go a tiny bit more in depth. Alright, let's first start off with our first day of the trip, Wednesday. Wednesday was the day we flew out to Salt Lake City, and we did the Wednesday at the stadium. First up, the flight. If you want to see my flight out there, at least the takeoff from my flight, be sure to check out the Wednesday at the stadium vlog. And yeah, be sure to check that video out, or check under my Instagram story highlights, entitled MJWFXXIV, which stands for Monster Jam World Finals 24. Go check that out. Flight out there on the Delta flight was really good. Had a fun time, chilling out there, playing some Roblox on the plane, or watching some SpongeBob. Even sleeping sometimes, but it was a good flight out there. We made it safely from flying all the way from Tampa to Salt Lake City. Although one thing I do have to complain about this flying out day is that day was definitely a very long and tiring day, as it's probably the longest day of the year for me so far, having to go from two different times, having to go through many time zones, and I gained 2 hours that day of time and daylight and stuff like that, because we traveled there. So we gained 2 hours of time, so that means I was awake for 2 or plus hours. But like, I did get some naps here and there, whether it be on the plane or even in the hotel room. So there was that, and I was very tired after the flight. So we after we got done with the flight, we went to like a McDonald's because we were hungry. We ate, and then we went to look around the stadium, just check everything out. Then I ended up going back to the hotel room to take a nap, and recharge, and went back to the stadium to watch practice and see all the behind the scenes stuff. And one thing I definitely do have to find disappointing, though, especially probably one of the biggest disappointments about this trip, is one of the fact that the Salt Lake City Wednesday at the stadium video just did not do as good as last year's Friday at the stadium. We were really hoping to strike gold with this video, because doing this stuff with Monster Jam and going to all these shows, and doing all these shows in this economy with all the inflation and everything going on, and how messed up our economy has been, especially within these past couple of years. It is very expensive to do all this in today's economy, and especially with a smaller YouTuber like me who doesn't get as many views or subscribers compared to maybe other people like Avengers Racing or Monster Truck Lord. So it's gonna be very expensive. So we were hoping we can get a good profit off of this video, but sadly that just didn't happen, and that didn't really happen with many of my other videos as well from the weekend. So if you made it here so far and this far in the video, I'd like for you to just go down in the comments below and just say not in the comments, but go in the description, and I'll have the links in there to all my videos that we recorded from Salt Lake City, so you guys go check that out and help support us, because views are very important to us on YouTube, as it's the most important thing on YouTube if you want to make money. As on YouTube, you can have 1 million subscribers, but if you're getting no views, you're gonna get no money. And if you only have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, but you're getting 1 million views, that's where all the money comes. Your money on YouTube does not come from the subscriber count you have. It comes from the views on your video. So be sure to go check out the videos, so that you can help support us, support the channel, so that we can keep on traveling and doing all this monster truck content and stuff like that for you guys in the future, so we can continue to grow and expand the cities we go to for monster truck shows. But Wednesday's Dim is very good. I actually also got to watch practice as well, as with this stadium, with how it is set up, I was able to actually walk behind the stadium, behind where the elevated start is, and I was able to actually see the video board, and I watched pretty much all of practice. Practice was very interesting. And the main field qualifying, we got to see Blake Granger get the fastest time in the Friday racing group, and then in the Saturday racing group, the fastest qualifying time came from Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger. And then I can't remember who got fastest in actually, wait, I do remember. Fastest from LCQ was Matt Cody in Gravedigger. And then we also got to see in practice. The thing I found probably one of the most interesting is we saw a lot of crashes in practice especially on the elevated berm. We saw a lot of crashes there where we got to see Cody Saucier was the first one to crash on the elevated berm. He actually completely rolled over in his qualifying pass. And then in the next group, and then in the LCQ group, a total of 5 people crashed. We got to see Tony Oakes crashed. And then we also saw Cole Vennard, Ashley Sanford, Matt Cody, and Devin Winfield. They actually all rolled over in the berm, but they were actually able to save it and keep going on their pass, which was really cool. And watching the LCQ qualifying and everything, that was super entertaining. My first time ever really watching a full World Finals practice. As any of the other practice sessions we've seen from World Finals in the past years, we only have small clips of them coming from Monster Jam's YouTube vlogs that they've done at the World Finals every year, which they sadly didn't do that this year. But seeing those vlogs, that's where we got to see some clips from practice. But actually, it's actually our second time. We actually got to see the full practice session from Nashville. Luckily for the fans who were able to buy tickets and go in and watch practice, and who were able to upload the full practice videos to YouTube. If you want to go check those out, you can go maybe check them out under Monster Truck Lord, Monster Truck Reels, or Turbert, as they all have full videos from there, as well as Chaos to the Max. So it was really cool getting to watch practice. It was very fun and very entertaining seeing the new track. And it was overall a great day on Wednesday, despite the very long and tiring day. And one last thing, I also got to meet Tom Mentz as well at Hanging Outside. This was my first time actually seeing and getting a picture with Tom Mentz since Orlando of 2023. So it was great to see the professor, because I just saw him sitting out there in a golf cart. Went up to him, grabbed a picture with him, and it was really cool to get to see the GOAT still out here. He may not be driving, but he's still involved, and it's great to see that Tom Mentz is still around here in the sport, and he's still involved. Next up, we have Thursday. And first thing, I forgot to put this in the slides, but the first thing I can note from Thursday is the press conference. That happened in the morning. Press conference was filled with lots of interesting news. The first big news was Jamie Sullivan being out for Monster Jam World Finals, which I also definitely found sad and disappointing. I mean, we really want to see Jamie Sullivan tear it up at World Finals, considering after last year Jamie had a great first World Finals appearance in the main field, as she tore it up in racing, making it all the way to round 3 to lose to the LCQ winner from the previous day of David Olfert in Velociraptor. And then she ended up finishing 4th in freestyle with a great run, where she was actually one of only 3 drivers to fill the time in freestyle and land 2 backflips. So, we were really looking forward to see what Jamie Sullivan had in store in Sparkle Smash, as Jamie had a good year in Sparkle Smash this year. We're really looking forward to seeing her compete. But sadly, it just couldn't happen, as she ended up actually getting a dog bite in her face. I think it was either before she flew out to the event or the night before, because I actually remember from hanging out outside the stadium on Wednesday that she had ended up, she drove in practice. I remember seeing it on the video board, but she was driving in practice. So I don't know what really happened. I don't know when the dog bit her. I don't know if it was before she flew out. For some reason, I thought I saw somewhere on her Insta post that it happened before she flew out to World Finals, or it happened the night before. But it's definitely very unfortunate luck for Jamie Sullivan. And I'm just going to call it right now. I think next year will be Jamie Sullivan's year. I think she's going to perform very strong next year, and she's going to come out to World Finals hungry for redemption, and we hope we can see her get a World Championship. And the other news we got to see is the full panel of guest judges. This next guest judge get announced, that being Michaela Telechka and Megalodon, which was also a very interesting pick for a guest judge. as well, and I think she did a pretty good job being the guest judge here over the weekend, as we'll talk about later on. We also got news of Todd LeDuc and Megalodon making his retirement after the Monster World Finals, which is definitely very sad to see Todd LeDuc go, as Todd LeDuc was a very fun, entertaining driver to watch over the years. But I kind of did start to fall off a little bit towards the end of his career. 2014 through 2022 is just really prime, and for those who were there to witness it, it was really awesome to see Todd LeDuc in his prime during his career, during that time from 2014 through 2022. And it was definitely going to be sad to see him go. We're definitely going to miss him. We were definitely going to miss him on the track, and he announced that he was going to be retiring after the Monster World Finals. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is really good to see here, as we get to see that's now the second year in a row where we got to see something that get handed out, as we got to see Tom Meents win that award the year prior. So it's great to see Todd LeDuc win that award. And then other announcements we got from this, we also got to see the 2 encores with the Rec Deck and the JCB Smashbot Stunt get announced, and so that was definitely very interesting. We'll talk more about those in the coming slides. And we also got to see the next World Finals location revealed, with Salt Lake City being back next year, which something I'd known about now for practically almost over a year now. I've practically known almost ever since they announced Salt Lake that it was going to be a 2-year deal, thanks to people in Instagram group chats telling me that information. So we're back July 3rd through 4th next year, 4th of July weekend. It's going to be another fun weekend, and I cannot wait to go and be in attendance at that event. And then we also got other minor news. I've got to hear stuff about the Freestyle Mania tour that is happening for the arenas here coming up over the summer. We also got to hear about some new stuff like this new Sparkle Smash RC that will be releasing, the Monster Jam Surf and Skate Road Trip, and other stuff like that will be happening. So that's about it from the press conference. Then later on that afternoon came, and we ended up seeing the pit party, where we got our first wave, I guess you can say, of new truck unveilings for the weekend. So we already did go over some of these unveils in my analysis video that I filmed last week on Tuesday. What I thought of some of these new body schemes. We're going to go ahead and go through these. First up, we got Stars and Stripes Gravedigger. Still, well, it does look good in person. Probably still my least favorite of the Stars and Stripes design. Mixing the Ghost, which is an iconic feature of the truck. I think if it had the Ghost on it, it would probably be my favorite Stars and Stripes truck. I've seen this truck some images like on DeviantArt and stuff like that. Scrolling through Google of this truck with the Ghost face, and it looks absolutely awesome. So, we're definitely very sad that they kind of left that feature out. One of the most iconic features on Gravedigger, which is very sad left it out. Stars and Stripes Megalodon. It's my second time seeing it in person since Atlanta. Of course, it looked really good. I like the red beadlocks. Very cool. Stars and Stripes El Toro Loco. Now, compared to the render that we saw, the Stars and Stripes El Toro Loco here in the real life was actually more of a darker blue. The blue that we saw in the render looked more like a light blue, which kind of gave me more vibes of El Toro Loco Ice. But here the blue is a lot more dark. And I definitely do like that. And I think the body really stuck out in person and looked very cool. And the American Flames in this truck definitely really turned out really well. Nitro Zombie, seeing it in person was alright, but it's still not the best zombie scheme out there. Honestly, part of me did wish and they could have maybe ran a body like the Fire body or the Biker Zombie body. That would have been cool, or heck, even cooler, it would have been cool to see Uproar out there competing, but yes, the Zombie Nitro looked alright with the blue beadlocks, and yeah. Next up, we got Yellow El Toro Loco. This truck was alright, it looks pretty good. The only really complaint I do have is I feel like the truck was too yellow. And especially with the horns, something with the horns, they just felt really plain and too yellow, in my opinion. And I think if they could have just added a tiny bit more color to the horns, the truck would have looked pretty good and practically been perfect, and it would have looked just as good as the old body. Then we got the Red Thunder Roars. Looks really good. Now, we've already talked about this now for the past couple of years, but Red Thunder Roars, Tony Oaks, looks really good. Hope to see it more in the future. Then other schemes that we got to know now. All the schemes that we just discussed in the last slide, we discussed already in my pre-show video. But now we get to talk about these new ones that we didn't know about when I'm at the time of when I made my video of my pre-show analysis. So first up, we got the new Team Throttle monster truck called Shell Shocked. Now I'd already known about Shell Shocked already for a little while now. And I already knew this was going to practically be the unveil again, thanks to, I think, a Monster Talk video where he had released some IP of this truck, and thanks to other group chats. And we actually got a turtle truck out here, which is, in my opinion, one of my favorite. This is already becoming one of my favorite Team Throttle monster trucks, and it's already, and it's also just really cool. One of my favorite designs that we got unveiled at the World Finals last week. I mean, this truck just looks absolutely awesome. It will be driven by Dalton Widener, and the truck, it kind of like represents Dalton Widener and where he's from, in Tennessee. Where in Eastern or something like that, Tennessee, where he grew up at, and they had lots of snapping turtles there, which is what this is based off of. They have lots of those there in Tennessee, so definitely very fitting for him to drive this truck. It looks really awesome. I can't wait to see how he does in it, as this truck will be making its debut in Lamar, Missouri for the Toughest Monster Truck Tour next weekend, so be sure to check that out. And as far as its Monster Jam debut, I don't know when it will debut in Monster Jam just yet. I think it may be in Tacoma, I believe, is when it will make its debut in September. And I think Dalton will also be running this truck as well this year, and maybe in other shows. Like, I think he may run in St. Louis, Arlington, Spokane, and actually, wait, no, I think he may run it in Arlington, Houston. He also may run in Calgary, maybe, but I'm not quite sure. So yeah, we're going to see this truck a few times in quarter 2 of Monster Jam, and I can't wait to see how he performs in it. It's a really cool looking truck, and I'm just super duper excited to make its debut, and I hope we get to see Dalton Widener drive it next year, as I'm assuming he'll be on tour with it next year, and I cannot wait to see it then. Then next up, we got the Black Jester that got unveiled, and now this Jester is really cool. I did not expect a black body to look this good, but it is black and red, and I think the two colors went together really good. I've thought about a Black Jester before in my mind, and I was like, I don't know if this will look good. While it still is not my favorite Jester, my favorite Jesters are probably still the red, the purple, and the blue body, with blue being my personal favorite because it's my favorite color. The black body, though, is still definitely really cool, and I really do love it. I love the black and the kind of the black and white that you kind of see on this side right here. The truck kind of gives me vibes of Black Stallion's hood. We got the Jester as well. The Jester kind of looks like he's in a prison, which kind of makes sense. That's stuff they used to like do back in the days. You guys need his hat is black and white, and the thing, the collar he kind of wears around his neck is also black and white, kind of like prison uniforms that you would see. Although I don't think they have those prison uniforms now, as they're mostly orange. But, you know, back in the day, I think they used to have black and white prison uniforms. So it kind of looks like that, and the red, and all stands out really good. And I really do like the truck. I'm wondering how it will look next year. Maybe they'll change up the bead locks and the 4-link bars to maybe be red. Hopefully that can happen. Now the truck will stick out really good. We also got to see Wreck Deck get unveiled. And again, you know, still an alright truck. It is pretty plain. Still, I mean, it's a cool concept, but it is also pretty plain. Also, you kind of do like how they have the inflatable person on the top of the truck. That's kind of cool. Kind of gives me vibes of the person that's standing on top of the one that Hot Wheels made. But Wreck Deck, very interesting. I mean, it's a new and unique concept, but still, I mean, it is quite plain. I wish there could be something. I don't know what they can do, but I wish there could be something to make the truck pop and stand out more and give it more detail to it. And then we got Stars and Stripes Kraken, which, I mean, lots of people weren't really fans of it, but I like it. I kind of like how they actually put stars in the tires on, like, which is a really cool detail. It's basically Blue Kraken yet again. I mean, I do think the tentacle colors do look like they're more of a red or a darker pink, compared to the Blue Kraken that we've seen compete now over the past couple of years. The brown on the truck, instead of having it being silver on the side of the truck like the part of the SUV or the boat that is kind of being devoured by the Kraken, they decided to change the color to make it a bit more of a brown, which is really cool. They changed up the logo to be Stars and Stripes theme with the blue, red, and white. We also added Nick and his family on there. He added his wife and his son or his daughter on the side of the truck. Their name is on there if you zoom in really closely. And truck looks all right. Right, and a lot of people may not be huge fans of it. And this body did get leaked a few days before, but I still do like it. And I love blue, and I love blue. Blue is my favorite color, so of course I really do like this scheme, and maybe we'll get to see it more in the future. Next up, we got Just Get Her Done 2 with the Living on the Edge scheme, as the truck has officially been renamed now to Living on the Edge now, as we've seen here in St. Paul, Minnesota over this past weekend. So it is a bit sad we're seeing Just Get Her Done 2 go away, as it was kind of like its final show here this weekend, last weekend in World Finals in the LCQ. I wish Brendan Telechka could have maybe walked away with the win, but still, it's going to be very cool to see how Brendan Telechka does in Living on the Edge in the future, and I can't wait to see how he does out of it, as Brendan Telechka is a good driver, and yeah, and this body scheme may not be the best. This is definitely alright. I kind of definitely do like Just Get Her Done 2 better, but we'll get used to it, and we can always see Living on the Edge in the future. Next up, we've got Misfire, which is the new truck for Tomfoolery Motorsports, driven by Brooke Pagliarulo. Now, I do have to say, out of all the new truck stuff that has gotten built, out of like the new stuff, Misfire is easily one of my top favorites. It's up there with Shell Shocked, and it's very hard to choose between the two. Now, I know it may not pop and it may not be a 3D body, but I really do like the color. I really do love the pink or the purplish type body that we have. I love the design on the side of the truck, and I think this looks really awesome. And kind of the bodies kind of gives a resemblance to Big Kahuna, quite a bit. The old Big Kahuna that we used to see get run back in the day. And I really love this truck. It's really awesome. It's very pretty. And I can't wait to see it on the track. And we cannot wait to watch Brooke Pagliarulo tear it up. And I hope we get to see this truck in some shows soon, as this past Wednesday, Brooke just turned 18 years old, which means she's eligible to run in Monster Jam. And so we hope to see her at a show, although she's currently not scheduled with any Monster Jam shows so far. We hope we can see her out there competing at least one arena show. Before the end of the year, hopefully. I mean, it'd be even cooler if she could compete in one of the October shows, like maybe even Glendale, but we don't know if that'll happen. But I hope we see Brooke on the track at some point soon, and I really want to see her out on the track, and I really want to see her tear it up in her own identity, as this truck is really cool, and I can't wait to see her on the track someday soon, as I know we'll be seeing it soon for some independent events, like I believe it's debut event maybe in West Lebanon for the Monsters and Megas, so be sure to check that out. And also, as far as these new bodies, we've already seen some of these trucks already make their debut outside of the World Finals, as we got to see Living on the Edge compete this past week in St. Paul, and Jester and Kraken schemes also, we got to see them run as well in Canefield, Ohio for the Outlaw Monster Truck Drags, so I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing this Black Jester and the Stars and Stripes Kraken throughout more shows in 2025 in quarter 2. And we'll probably see this Black Jester and, we'll probably see this Black Jester and Stars and Stripes Kraken compete at some Monster Jam shows as well. We'll probably see Jester make its debut. This Black body will probably debut in Orlando. And then for Kraken, we'll probably see that new body, the Stars and Stripes one, debut in Monster Jam, most likely in Savannah. Next up, we have the Monster Jam Awards ceremony. The award ceremony this year, I mean, it was alright. Sadly, we didn't get to see like as many cool and funny moments as what we saw in years past. And we also didn't really get to see any cool like suits and fits from the drivers, the custom fits that we've seen, as everybody's just wearing their crew shirts or fire suits this year at the award show compared to the other years. As you couldn't see Jim Kohler, sadly, this year he couldn't bring out some really special suit for the fans like he's done in the years in the past. So, but it is understandable though. Kind of the award show this year kind of brings it back to the old days in Las Vegas, back when they used to host it and have it during the pit party or the track side. As sadly, Salt Lake City does not have a venue like a Hard Rock Cafe or something like that, where we've seen the award show be hosted for the past couple of World Finals that we've seen in Orlando, Nashville, and Los Angeles. So Hopefully, maybe in 2027 we can see them, or maybe even next year. Maybe if they can find a venue, we can see them host hosted in a venue like what we saw in the years past, and we can have a good award show. And I also kind of do miss that didn't like how the award show is on a Thursday. So I kind of do like the format that we saw last year in Inglewood and in the previous year in Nashville, where the award show was the last thing of Monster Jam World Finals weekend. As I thought it was just a cool way to just end off the whole Monster Jam World Finals weekend with the award show. So we're kind of sad that that didn't happen this year, but maybe we'll see that make a return in the years to come. Alrighty, it was time for the big event to start at 6 o'clock, or actually it was at 7 p.m., and we did get to see first up the LCQ qualifying. Fernando Martinez and El Toro Loco started in stripes to get the fastest time, which was really cool. Well, Fernando, I didn't expect that to happen from him. First ever time in a stadium, he was absolutely going fast. His truck was absolutely dialed in, and Fernando got the fastest pass. Very great for him that he was able to do that, and he would get the #1 qualifying spot. In the main field in Group A, the fastest qualifier was Blake Granger, Monster Mutt Dalmatian, and Blake was just on another level in racing. That event, I mean, he was just going bad fast. He was setting those berms really quick, and he did a really good job, and it seemed like the lanes are a bit more evened out here in the qualifying session compared to practice. And Blake absolutely killed it, getting the #1 spot. Very happy for him. And then Camden Murphy getting fast in Group 2. Very nice to see Camden get fast in his group. This is the first time we've seen Camden get fastest ever since World Finals in Nashville, so it's great to see him lay down a fast time. And then with the LCQ, considering the fact that Jamie Sullivan got injured, leaving an empty spot in the World Finals, this allowed for 2 drivers from the LCQ to make it into the main field. And this is something I was definitely very happy about, and it just really opened the door. As right now, the 2 people who I was rooting for to make it into the main field from the LCQ were definitely Matt Cody and not Matt Cody, but I was rooting for Devin Winfield and Cole Vennard to make it into the main field this year, as I think Cole, he was obviously robbed. He should have been there in the first place, so he should have made it in, especially after the great year he had. And then Devin Winfield also had a good year, and we really wish he could have made it in, but sadly it didn't happen. I did get 1 out of my 2 predictions right, as we got Cole, and we got Cole, and then on the other hand, we got Matt Cody, which I'm definitely not upset about at all, as I'm really happy Matt Cody made it in, as he really deserves this spot. As Matt Cody's been tearing it up, whether it be domestically or internationally in Gravedigger, and I thought he should have been in it last year at the World Finals, but sadly it didn't happen, so I was really happy we got to see him in it this year, and he did a really awesome job in the LCQ. That truck was on rails. He had that truck working really good that night, and he was able to crawl his way through the bracket to make it to the final round in the semis. I guess you can say the final race to determine which 2 would make it in. So we got to see him make it in, taking down Triton Robbins and Crazy Train. Now, I was a bit sad that Triton Robbins did not get the win. I was definitely rooting for Triton Robbins. I mean, that would have been cool to see Crazy Train in the World Finals, especially with how good Triton has had of a year this year. I really wanted to see him in the big show, but sadly that didn't happen. I think he may have had some truck issues, or may have just not been in the best lane, and that caused for Matt Cody, who has just had a better working truck, to get the win and take down Triton Robbins, and I hope you see Triton Robbins in the main field next year. And then we had Cole Vennard, who made it in, and I was very happy he made it in, although I was definitely a bit nervous heading into his race to see if he can make it in. As he had to race up against Fernando Martinez, who was really fast that entire evening. He was very fast and very consistent on the track, so I was definitely a bit nervous for Cole that he wasn't going to be able to get the win, but luckily Fernando made a mistake in the berm heading into the final turn, which allowed for Cole Vennard to get the win. So very happy that Cole Vennard made it in. He deserved to be in the main field in the first place. I know people were maybe very bummed about Fernando, but I'm happy Cole Vennard got in, and I hope this proves to fail that next year they should just automatically put Cole Vennard in the main field, as He really deserves it, and Cole's one of the best independent drivers out there, and he always deserves to be in the main field at Monster Jam World Finals. So I'm very happy Cole Vennard was able to make it into the Monster Jam World Finals main field yet again this year. And although I was a bit bummed that Devin Winfield, Chris Kohler, Fernando Martinez, Trent Robbins, Tony Oaks, I definitely wish they could have made it in, but sadly it just was not their year, and I hope they can get it, and I hope these drivers can make it into the main field next year. Next up, it was time for Friday. And we got our second wave of unveils of new trucks. First up, we got the yellow Sparkle Smash. While still, it's definitely not the best design, it definitely looks a bit better in person. The Fanta, or the whatever other yellow drink you can call it, Sparkle Smash, looked alright in person. I definitely love the pink bead locks on the truck. Kinda wish they had pink bead locks on the main truck, but the truck, Sparkle Smash Yellow, turned out alright. It was originally only going to be for display on the weekend and have Kayla run the normal body, but eventually this body was ran in high jump in freestyle. Next up, we got to see the new updated Gravedigger that Tyler Menninga would run. And I mean, it probably just is the standard Gravedigger, but there are some differences on it. They updated the tombstones to add Matt Cody and Charlie Pauken on the tombstones. And they added some new truck tombstones as well. Truck's Gravedigger has defeated, like I think I saw on there, Thunder Roarus and Classroom Crusher. I think somewhere on there. And there may have been Sparkle Smash as well. I can't remember. The sad thing is I kind of did wish they put like trucks like JCB DIGatron and Lucas Stabilizer on the tombstones, but I guess they couldn't do that because they're sponsored trucks. And so yeah, that sadly couldn't happen. But we did get to see this new design. We also got to see how they added a Monster Jam logo. This is kind of like the first time we really saw more of a colored Monster Jam logo on Gravedigger, as most of the time the logo has been green. It kind of blended in with the trucks. This is the first time we really got to see the actual logo kind of stick out like that, which in my opinion I'm not a huge fan of. Gravedigger's always kind of been iconic to not have the standard Monster Jam logo ran on the truck. So I was a bit disappointed they did that, and I kind of wish they could remove that. But that's really my only critique I have about the truck. But two praise I definitely gotta do, considering they removed a bunch of the retired trucks off the tombstones of Gravedigger, like Pirate's Curse or Alien Invasion. They did keep on there 2 trucks that have been retired, those being Max D and Blue Thunder. Blue Thunder is definitely very iconic, and that still gives us hope that the truck could still come back in the future. I love Blue Thunder. It's a really cool truck, and it's a shame they kind of retired it, as even though it may be a 2D body, it is still really cool, and I really hope it can make a return someday in the future. I don't know who would be the best fit to drive it, but I really am hoping we can see Blue Thunder return in the future at some point, as I really love that truck, and I really want to see it come back. Then we also got Max D on there, which I'm really happy they kept that on there as Max D and Gravedigger. Of course, out of all the trucks Gravedigger has defeated, Max D is the most famous and iconic one. So I'm really happy they kept that on there. They kind of still, just because Max D and Gravedigger is such a big rivalry in our sport of Monster Jam. So I am really, 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 really happy that he kept that on that they kept that on the truck, as Max D deserves to be on there due to the long history of the rivalry that he has had with Gravedigger. Next up, we have the Red Primer Gravedigger, and I mean, when I first heard Wes Anderson was going to drive this truck, I wasn't really the hugest fan of it. I didn't think he was going to be the best of fitting for Red Primer, but he actually turned out to fit better than I thought. And I'm really happy he also changed the beadlock color to be yellow instead of keeping it green. I was really afraid it was going to be green for the whole weekend, and now it's just not going to look good. Red Primer with green beadlocks, no, something about that just would not look good. So I'm happy they changed it out to yellow, as the yellow looks really good, and the truck turned out pretty better and looked better than what I thought it did, kind of like on the green chassis. Kind of reminds me of how the truck ran in the World Finals 11 Encore from 2010 at World Finals. So I really like the body. It turned out really good. Weston had a pretty solid performance driving the truck, and I think it turned out better than expected. Then we had the JCB DIGatron, the 80th anniversary design. This one also turned out to be pretty good. This, it's definitely, it's an alright body, and it does look pretty good in person. While it may not be my favorite, it looks pretty good in person, and I like to call it the JCB DIGatron because it's got the red, white, and yellow, which is kind of the famous McDonald's colors. So, JCB DIGatron looks really good. And then we got to see Grandma Gravedigger, and when Grandma Gravedigger got announced, I was really happy that Kristen was behind the wheel of it, and I think it was a perfect fitting truck for Kristen, and at that rate, I kind of really, although we kind of did not like the fact that Kristen was competing in the main field, when that body got announced, I just kind of didn't care anymore that she was competing. I kind of felt she kind of deserved her spot because I really wanted to see this body compete. The body turned out really good, and I really did like how some of the details on the tombstones of how they added old trucks from back in the 80s and back in the day with some retro trucks like Carolina Crusher, Bigfoot, Equalizer, and some of those old trucks that we saw Gravedigger have to race up against and compete against back in the day. I think I maybe even saw an Excalibur as one of the tombstones on that truck, so that was really cool to see those details on there. I don't know if those details were on the other Grandma Gravediggers that we saw back in the other World Finals from World Finals 18 and 21, but still, really cool body. Really liked how it turned out. Then we have Gravedigger the Legend. People may have been controversial. Well, people think this one may have been controversial, and a lot of people did not really like it as much. People did not really like the black beadlocks. People may have liked the yellow a bit better. But in my opinion, I don't mind the black beadlocks. I've always preferred Gravedigger the Legend with the black beadlocks compared to the yellow. I mean, I know a lot of people like the yellow beadlocks, but in my opinion, I've always just thought the black looked better and was more iconic to the truck. And we were also running the Tony Farrell body, I guess you could say, that weekend in Salt Lake City, which I definitely did like as this actually marked, as 2025 marks the 10-year anniversary since, or marked 10 years ever since Tony Farrell passed away. So I think it was a well-fitting body, like kind of run maybe like as a tribute, I guess, for Tony Farrell, and so I'm really happy with how the body turned out, and it turned out really good. And I'm happy Adam Anderson whether it was realized or not, but I'm really happy we got to see a nice tribute to Tony Farrell last weekend at World Finals with this body. Alright, as for the final 4 bodies that we got to see unveiled, we got to see another red, white, and blue Avenger. And this one's definitely a bit different compared to the one we saw 6 years earlier in 2019. And this body, in my opinion, while I may have talked about Shell Shocked and Misfired being my favorite World Finals reveals, reality is Avenger's my favorite one. This truck really popped in person. It was kind of glittery, kind of like Sparkle Smash, and it just looks really amazing. It's definitely the best World Finals Avenger body that we've gotten in quite a couple years. As I know, a lot of people may have been complaining about the Avenger bodies kind of getting repetitive over the past couple of years, with them always being either white, gray, or silver, or green. So I'm really happy we got to see a different kind of colored here body of Avenger for this weekend, as I think the body turned out really well and is definitely up there maybe with one of my favorite World Finals Avenger bodies. And the body turned out really well, and it just really pops in person. Then we got Wildside, who decided to run an Army body, which is fitting for the weekend of 4th of July with the Army camo themed. It turned out really good, and we also got to see the Chrome logo come back that we saw from him last year. And we really liked it. It was a cool body, and Zach Garner definitely tore it up this past weekend. Really love it. Very awesome body. We've got the Silver Excalibur, which all of us saw coming. We all saw that there was probably gonna be the Silver Excalibur running because it is the 40th anniversary of the truck, and it turned out really well. Maybe more of a plain design, but I really love it. And it's even kind of got the American flag kind of like in the background with the red, white, and blue. And the truck turned out really amazing. Although Michael did destroy the body a bit, and it's kind of totaled, and I don't know if we'll see it again. I still do think that this was a really cool looking truck, and I'm really happy with this unveil that Tom Foolery did. Then we have Terminal Velocity with the blue. And this is definitely also really fun to surprise to see what John Zimmer Jr. was going to do with this truck. with terminal velocity, and we got the blue on it. Compared to the orange flames, we got blue. The blue turned out pretty good. And as this one's really cool to see, is nobody knew what this was going to be, but I'm very happy to see this new color on here, and as it turned out really well, as John Zimmer Jr. wanted to turn up the heat, as blue is the hottest flame. Alrighty, after the pit party, we did have our yearly rain delay yet again. I don't know what's going on. Why there's so many rain delays at the World Finals. I mean, it's the 4th out of the past 5 World Finals that we've had a rain delay. And the one World Finals that we did not have a rain delay, it was an indoor venue. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with all the rain delays. Hopefully, Mother Nature can kind of chill out in the next. I hope God or Mother Nature, whatever, they can just kind of chill out in the next couple of Monster Jam World Finals and we don't have any rain next year. But the rain wasn't as bad. I think the rain that we saw, the rain delays that we had, or the rain itself that we saw in World Finals Orlando 21, World Finals 21, the second Orlando World Finals, and the Nashville World Finals, I think those rains were a lot worse compared to what we saw here. I mean, the track was pretty much dried out and all ready to go for the event. And we started the event off with the Rec Deck Encore. Now, sadly, I couldn't really get this on camera as good, as I was busy trying to record the truck procession outside. But thank you to Monster Truck Vault for some of the footage with that. And the Rec Deck stunt, it was alright. I mean, it wasn't the best stunt we really saw out there. It was really cool to see him kind of like slide along these railings they see right here. That was really cool. And then we got to do a backflip as well, which turned out alright. Bryce Kenny getting the chance at his first stunt. He also went for a moonwalk, which also didn't turn out that well. And the stunt was just alright. Not really the best one. Probably one of my least favorite out of all the stunts we got to see. Then it was time for the event to start. We had racing, Group 1. Racing was very entertaining with the new track style. And featured many crazy upsets, such as seeing Tristan England, JCB DIGatron get knocked out very early. I believe he got knocked out in round 2. I can't remember who he lost to, but I remember he did lose in round number 2, which was really surprising, as Tristan England had finished top 3 in the past 3 Monster Jam World Finals. He got 3rd place in 2022, 2nd in 2024, and 1st in 2023. So, definitely disappointing for Tristan. Then we also got to see another upset. We're going to see Brandon Mahan take down Adam Anderson in round 1. Brandon Mahan's been a sneaky fast in these past couple of World Finals in racing, which is very cool to see. And then we made it to the final round of that night, and we got to see Todd LeDuc get the win over Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack. Well, it would have been cool to see Dalton Widener get the win, considering this is the home of Team Throttle Monster. It's definitely cool to see Todd LeDuc go to the final round for the next day, as you know, it's LeDuc's final World Finals. We wanted to see him walk away with one more championship. Next up, Skills. I mean, oh man, Skills this year just was not really that good. Probably one of the worst Skills challenges we've seen. It's probably second worst to that of Nashville, as there's no really good iconic run that really blew everybody away, and we didn't have that big wow factor, kind of like how we saw from 2022 and 2024. Now, I do know the moonwalk into the backflip was tried a couple times by a couple of people. It was tried by both Armando Castro and Weston Anderson, but they both failed, and it just did not work out for them. A lot of people also tried the maximum moonflip, as well as I believe Blake Granger and John Zimmer Jr. tried that move as well. And at least the moves here, this track just isn't really the best for Skills. So people struggled, and Tristan England was able to get the win with a very nice moonwalk. He was able to walk out, and he almost got the nose flip, but sadly it just did not work out for him. And he was able to walk away as a Skills champion. He is now a 2-time Monster Jam World Finals champion. Next up would be Freestyle. And man, Freestyle on this event was off the hook, as many people laid down solid runs. From Matt Cody's World Finals debut, run, Michael Pagliarulo burning it down with 2 backflips and a somersault. And Bryce Kenny laying down his best World Finals freestyle run since 2019 in Monster Mutt. Cynthia Goetze also laid down a really good run in her first That was Cynthia's best World Finals freestyle run we'd seen from her ever since 2019, and it was probably possibly her best World Finals freestyle ever. I think a lot of people definitely overlooked Cynthia's run. It was definitely one of my favorites from that night. And then we also cannot forget to talk about Weston Anderson and Gravedigger, who absolutely flew that truck across the stadium, getting some of the biggest air of the whole weekend, and getting a crazy crash as well. And then we also had a crazy crash as well from Cody Saucier that definitely left him a bit shooken up, but luckily he was not majorly injured. And then we also got to see John Zimmer Jr. laid down a really great run for only having first gear. John Zimmer Jr. laid down an amazing run. And then the biggest highlight was Zach Garner Wildside's 3-tire freestyle run. And that was really, 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 really awesome. As it was a really great run. I was actually very surprised that the officials let him go with 3 tires, and he's able to absolutely burn it down and just lay down what felt like a true world championship winning run. As that was just a really great run that we saw out of Zach Garner. And one of the other cool parts is not only just him burning it down and having a good run with 3 tires, but him also being able to nail a backflip with a flat tire. That is definitely very hard to do. Doing a backflip with only 3 tires, but he was able to do it, and that was just a really awesome run that night. And he was able to walk away as the freestyle leader after that night, and it was really awesome to see. And we also did get to see some decent runs as well out of Camden Murphy and Ryan Anderson. Although they weren't the best runs, I definitely kind of did find Ryan Anderson's run at World Finals this year to be a little bit disappointing, as it felt like he wasn't going all out, and he sadly couldn't go as all out as what he could have gone. So, really hoping Ryan can come out next year and get some redemption, and I hope he can freestyle if they're going to keep the format like how it was this year. I hope he can go out and freestyle on Saturday so he can just go all out and not care about the truck and absolutely tear it down. And then we would end off the night with a fireworks show. And the fireworks show here this year, I really loved the fireworks show. It was really, really awesome. I love seeing, it's definitely a perfect way to celebrate 4th of July. It's the best fireworks show I could have ever seen. Seeing them bring out all the trucks onto the track. They brought out all the trucks that had competed on the Friday night racing, and they also brought out all the non-competing trucks. They all got American flags on them, drove the trucks out onto the track as we all watched the fireworks show. Of course, they didn't get most of the freestyle trucks from Saturday on the track because, of course, most of them were broken. Although, for some reason, I could have sworn I thought I saw Black Pearl out there on the track, like he came out there during that encore celebration. But most of the trucks from that Saturday, from the Friday freestyle, weren't out there on the track, except for the ones that were just left out there after their runs. Like you can see Monster Mutt, they left him out there. They left Classroom Crusher. Gravedigger Grandma was left over there, and Son of a Digger parked its truck right up on the backflip ramp. So, very cool fireworks show. I had a very fun time watching. It was a perfect way to end off the night, and a perfect way to end off an absolute cinema day one. As day one of World Final, or day two, I guess you can say, as day two, Friday, July 4th. One of the best days of my whole life. Very fun day. Had a very fun time hanging out with all the community members, seeing all the unveils in the pit party, meeting all the drivers in the pit party as well. And just enjoying a great racing and a great freestyle competition. And I wish skills could have been better, but it was alright at the end of the day. I was still really happy with what we got from racing and freestyle. And then it was time for Saturday, the final day. We started off with the pit party. Pit party didn't really have anything special going on. At least there was no rain. And something I do got a compliment about the pit party. Something I do like about this pit party that I haven't seen any other pit parties was the fact that we got free water at this pit party, which was the first. I really wish we could have had this in Nashville and Orlando. But man, I don't know if I would have been able to make it out there in the heat that we saw in Salt Lake City if it weren't for the free water that we had. That we had at the pit party. You can just go refill up your water bottle or get some of these cones and fill up your water. And I mean, I had at least taken at least 100 of those cups of water. Having during that weekend, it was, you know, it was a major lifesaver, and I'm super happy they had that there, and it was really cool. So thank you, Rice Eccles Stadium, thank you Moss Gym for allowing us to have free water, and I hope this is something that comes back next year. As if you guys don't know, if you've ever bought water at the stadium, it can be incredibly expensive. Sometimes the water Gatorade or I think can cost nearly up to $10, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, oh, very happy we had the free water in there. It saves us a lot of money. And these, you know, thank you. If you were a part of that decision to have free water at the stadium during the pit party, and whether you're being somebody who works at Monster Jam or somebody who works at the Rice Eccles Stadium, you somehow made it this far in the video and you've watched. Just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This is one of the best parts about the whole Monster Jam World Finals experience. Also, something we got to notice here is that we also got the return of the parade. As well, which is something we kind of missed from the past two World Finals, seeing all the trucks take a circle around the track during trackside. And it's something that we definitely did miss from Nashville and Inglewood. We know Nashville, they sadly couldn't do it due to probably some time restraints, and also because of the fact that we also did have a rain delay as well, and the track was all muddy and stuff like that. And so probably the people who weren't competing in the World Finals, I'm pretty sure the crews who probably already have a lot of work just to clean up all the trucks for who were competing. I'm pretty positive they did not want to have to go through the job of having to clean up all the non-competing trucks as well and having them get all covered in mud. I'm pretty positive they did not want to do that, and so that's why that didn't happen. There was, of course, some time restraints as well. And then Inglewood, from what I heard, that they couldn't do the truck parade because of the fact that the tunnel was maybe a tiny bit too small, maybe, and they just couldn't do it. Sadly, because of the limited space with how small SoFi Stadium is. Not as a big stadium, the floor size is not the biggest, and I'm not sure. Although the tunnel is pretty long, I don't know. From what I heard, it may be a bit hard to do a truck parade in there. So sadly, we could not get a chance to see that, but we did get to see it here, and it was very, very fun and cool to see. Sadly, we didn't get to see the main field trucks do it, but it was definitely very fun to get to see all the non-competing trucks go out on the track in the parade. And then it was time for the JCB DIGatron Smashbot Stunt. Now this stunt started off with the dancing diggers, where all the JCB equipment would go out and do some routine, where they do some stuff, and it almost felt like some sort of act that you'd see on America's Got Talent, and it's really cool to see that for the second year in a row. As I did see that, we saw it last year as a halftime show at World Finals last year, in between the skills and high jump competitions. Then Tristan England would come on out and jump and take down the Smashbot. He'd absolutely knock it over her and have a crazy crash as well. Now, sadly, the biggest disappointment about this stunt right here that kind of left me bittersweet about the stunt was or the fact that sadly we missed the footage. We could not get it on camera, sadly, as there's two issues really that happened. Number one, it was very bright and sunny. We definitely made a mistake when we picked the seats out for the show, as it was where we sitting at. We were in the sun. The sun was in our face, so it made it very hard to see the camera. For my dad, who recorded the event for us, big shout out to him. You know, it was very hard to see the camera, and then we also had the bad timing of some kid also walked right past us. I mean, it wasn't his fault. It was maybe more the fault of the sun and our bad seating. And we sadly missed the whole stunt on camera, which, you know, definitely made me very upset that we couldn't get this awesome stunt on video for you guys. But luckily, we still were able to provide some content for you guys, luckily through Monster Truck Sid. Shout out to him for providing us with some footage so we can have a video. But it's very sad, and I'm really hoping at some point at a show they can bring back the Smashbot stunt, and I get a chance to get to see it get performed. I didn't get the chance to see it get performed live, and we can actually get it on camera. As it's a really cool stunt, in my opinion. While some people have maybe commented that it is almost kind of like a repeat of the the stunt that we saw Tom Mentz do in World Finals back in 2022. on the racing, like the pre-racing encore that we saw on May 21st for the Saturday event for World Finals back in 2022. It's kind of similar to that, but this time it's more of a high jump. So, I definitely can kind of see that why I was also, that's also kind of another reason kind of like the stunt. I kind of wish we kind of got, like, more of encores that you'd see where the trucks could just go all out in this, like, we can get a couple grave diggers and just go out there and go and freestyle for us. I think that would have been really, really cool and better instead, in my opinion, instead of doing some Spin Master promotion, but still really cool, crazy crash. Maybe we saw Tristan do, and we can't wait to hopefully maybe see something like this again in the future. Next up, we had the racing bracket on Saturday. Racing was really interesting. We saw some crazy crashes and some crazy races. Round 1 had 2 crazy races. First up, between Weston Anderson and Cole Vinard. As we got to see it, Weston made a huge mistake, and he had the lead practically against Cole. And then Cole was able to take the lead right back as, Weston had the lead as Cole made a mistake. Weston then made a mistake, line for Cole to get the win. Weston was able to save the truck, getting it on a sidewall. He gassed it and was able somehow Cole made a mistake going around the berm or just went a bit slow, and Weston was able to make a comeback for the win. That was a really cool and epic race. And we also got to see a crazy crash from Cynthia Gauthier as well in round 1, and which was very sad that Cynthia broke the truck and she could not come back because there was too much damage. I was very sad about that, as we were really cheering on for Cynthia, and I really want to see her possibly get the World Racing Championship and try to see if she can make it far into the bracket, but hopefully she can try to make it out next year and hopefully do really good in racing, as it's something Cynthia has definitely stepped up her game in this year. And then we made it to the final round of the Saturday bracket between Zach Garner and John Zimmer Jr., which is just a really cool race to see, to get to see those two, as they've been long time best friends. They even were on tour with each other, working for Team Overboard back in the day. And so to get to see those two now go up against each other in that final race is really cool. A lot of people were maybe rooting for John Zimmer Jr. to get the win, but I was happy that Zach Garner was able to pull it out and take it home for all the fans and go to the final round yet again for the second year in a row. And then we made it to the final round. Tyler Duke got a chance to do some practice passes. We got to see the bronze medal race for the second year in a row. And we got to see the winner being Dalton Widener and Jurassic Attack taking down John Zimmer Jr., which I was definitely very happy to see Dalton get that third place spot, as Dalton Widener is very great at racing. It's the hometown of Team Throttle Monster, so I'm very happy to see Dalton Widener take home the win and go and get. I was very, very happy to see him get the win and get the third place spot in Team Throttle Monster's home event. Then we got to the final round between Tyler Duke and Zach Garner. It's going to be an interesting race. Zach Garner sadly lost all and broke the steering in his truck heading out during his race. And Todd was able to get the win in his final World Finals, which is very cool to see. Finally, to see Todd Duke get a third World Finals championship, as his third World Finals championship for Todd Duke was long overdue, as he came up close so many times ever since he had won his World Championship back in 2015. From making it to the final round in 2016 in racing to lose to Morgan Kane, to almost winning with his flat spin in 2018, to getting robbed by the fan judges in 2019 with the LeDuc Leap, from getting underscored by fan judges in 2022 for the cool consecutive backflip and barrel roll that he had, and from his extremely high backflip from Nashville. We've been wanting to see LeDuc get another world championship for a long time now, and for him to get on his final one and win racing 10 years later, after he had actually ended up winning racing back at World Finals in 2015. So to see him get that racing win was really cool to see, and we're very happy Todd LeDuc was able to get it done and finally get that third World Racing Championship. That third World Championship that he's been pursuing for all his career. Although I wish he didn't have to win that way. I wish Zach Garner was able to be able to have a close race with him. Sadly, just didn't work out, and Todd LeDuc was able to get that win. Next up was high jump, and high jump this year is probably the worst we've ever seen it. I don't know what was going on with the ramp, but nobody could get any height off this high jump ramp. Jim and Colt they just did not get any air off the ramp at all. And we got to see Ryan Anderson get the win yet again for the 3rd time in his career in this competition, and he's now a 5-time World Finals champion, and he's tied with his brother now in World Finals championships. So great job for Ryan for getting this one done. And it was definitely very close, as he definitely had some competition with him, with Bryce Kenny, who got 2nd place, so I was really rooting for to win, but still great job for Bryce Kenny on getting 2nd, and Jamie Garner getting 3rd, which was really awesome, as we did have to use one of the backups for high jump, considering Zach could not make it out due to the broke steering. Jamie strapped in, and he was able to go out there and do high jump. And also, something I forgot to bring up in skills, but due to Jamie Sullivan being injured and not competing, we did get MJ Solario to come out and compete in the skills challenge, so that was really cool to see that for him. So great jobs for MJ Solario. Then we had Freestyle Day 2, and not gonna lie guys, Freestyle Day 2 was not as good as Day 1, but there were still definitely some highlighting good moments, as first off, the biggest one was Adam Anderson and Gravedigger, the legend, having an absolute burner of a freestyle run. He definitely had the best momentum and the best air out of everybody, so he was going all out considering he was in Gravedigger, the legend. He decided to go all out for the Monster Jam fans. And we're really happy. We're really happy to see how good he did. He probably would have won. He could have won if only he would have filled the time. But sadly, he crashed early after getting a flat tire and left 40 seconds left on the clock. But he definitely had the best air and momentum out of everybody in the whole competition. LeDuc also laid down one good final freestyle here for the fans, as he was definitely going big the entire, he wasn't going big the entire time, but we did get to see 2 really good LeDuc leaps from him, although I really did wish we could have gotten a chance to see him do one last backflip, but sadly that didn't happen. But he was able to go all out for the fans with 2 massive LeDuc leaps here to end off his career here in Monster Jam. Then we also got to see a great run from Colt Stevens, who also had some decent air and momentum, and had a crazy crash at the end where he absolutely just destroyed the front end of the truck. And then we also got to see, as well, another good run. Del Widener also laid down a pretty good run in the home of Team Throttle Monster, and Brandon Mahan was also able to lay down a nice and solid run as well. And then we also had the biggest disappointment of all time, probably the saddest ending of a Monster Jam World Finals ever, and probably the worst closing freestyle in Monster Jam World Finals freestyle history. This one had to be probably one of the worst closing freestyle runs out there. It's easily down there as one of the worst with Tom Mentz and Max D from World Finals 9. That was also not good, but I can definitely officially say this is probably definitely the worst closing freestyle runs. At least Mentz had a cool crash and save, and it was his run from World Finals 9 was a bit longer than what we saw from Tyler Menninga. And Gravedigger, as he had his own grandma introduce him, he's the reigning World Finals freestyle champ. He goes for the moonwalk and he just crashes on his first attempt, having his run being lasted of only 2 or 3 seconds. And I can definitely safely say that this is probably one of the worst freestyle runs in Monster Jam World Finals history. It's easily up there of one of the worst. It's up there with I think the only runs that are probably worse than that were probably Bryce Kenny and Great Cook Smoke Warrior from World Finals 22 in Nashville, and probably from Jim Jack and Reptoid from World Finals 1 back in Las Vegas in 2000. But, he went for the moonwalk, his truck died. He was very angry, very upset about that, and I definitely was as well. I was definitely not very happy about that moment, seeing Tyler roll over like that. I mean, he was the reigning champ. We wanted to see a good close off to the show, and Tyler was the reigning champ, and he really wanted to go all out for the fans. And sadly, it just did not happen. He rolled over. Something in the truck died with the battery or something like that, and the truck just rolled over and died. And it was very unfortunate, very disappointing, especially after having your own grandmother introduce you for freestyle. Like, Granny's introduction to Tyler was longer than his actual freestyle run itself. And that was definitely a big bummer for him. And a very sad way to close out Monster Jam World Finals 24. But we did get to see the freestyle winner the championship winning run from this event, that coming from Blake Granger and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. As Blake Granger laid down a pretty solid run with good air, good momentum. He even threw in some technical maneuvers in there. I think he may have had, 1 or 2 backflips as well. Decent air, decent momentum. I mean, Blake Granger had a pretty good run. He filled the time. But in my opinion, I don't know if this was a deserving winning run. Well, I definitely do have to give it to him for filling the time, and something that Zach Garner did not do. But I think Zach Garner should have probably won Freestyle in my opinion, because of how ragged edge it was. Seeing him run with only 3 tires was just really awesome. Was really awesome to see. So, I think Zach should have gotten it, but still, we're happy for Blake Granger. He had an amazing season this year, as Blake just did. Blake just did really awesome this year in Monster Mutt Dalmatian. As he was able to as he won 2 series championships, something nobody's ever done before. As he's able to win both the International Tour and Arena East, and win the World Freestyle Championship, and have a way better World Finals appearance compared to the one he had last year. Was really amazing. We're really happy for Blake Granger. They got this championship in Freestyle. We cannot wait to see where his future lies here in Monster Jam. Sunday. And Sunday, nothing really much happened for Sunday. I mean, we did get to see apparently they did do some Top Golf thing for charity, I think, that day, but I don't even know. I don't even remember seeing any footage for the Top Golf thing ever even getting released from anybody, so I'm not even sure if it happened or not. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to happen, but I saw no footage from it, so we have no clue if that actually happened or not. But that Sunday was the day we flew home. We had a layover in Atlanta, and then we flew from Salt Lake City to Atlanta. Then we went from Atlanta back to Tampa, and it was very nice to return home after a long 4 days away from home. And it's very nice to be back home after the amazing trip that we have had. And as I'm recording this right now, I've probably been home now for about a week now. I think I got home at around 6 or 7 p.m. last weekend on Sunday from this trip. It's been a nice week at home after the long week that we had last week. And it was very fun, and it was a very good event for World Finals this year. While it definitely did have its ups and downs, I definitely did enjoy it. While I'm out of my World Finals rankings, as far as the ones I've been to, this is my 5th World Finals. Now, honestly, do have to say this World Finals will probably place in 5th and 4th place for me. I did like this better than the Nashville one, mainly for the Friday event. This World Finals definitely have potential to be up there to battle for at least 2nd, 3rd, or maybe even 1st place. But sadly, day 2 just kind of fumbled and fell apart with the freestyle and everything. High jump, the side competitions of high jump and skills were not as good either. But it was still a very fun time. I had a very fun time hanging out with all the community members at the event. Had a fun time hanging out with Monster in California, Monster Truck Sid, Monster Truck Lord, Monster Talk, Monster Truck Reels, Avengers Racing, Mac Bulldog Mac, Zona Monsters, Monster Jam Fan 0311. TJ, East Coast Monster Trucks, and hanging out with everybody was really, really fun. I had a blast at the event. Had a very fun time. The pit party was one of my funnest ever, as I think it's probably one of the best World Finals pit parties I've ever been to. While the weather wasn't as good as last year, it was still really fun just because of the amount of time we had and all the people we got to meet compared to some of the years in the past. It was a very fun experience, very fun time, and I cannot wait for next year on July 3rd and 4th of next year for Monster Jam World Finals. I can't wait to see everybody there. Hope to see new people there, and as well as people I saw from this year at World Finals. It was a very fun time, and thank you to everybody, for everybody who I met at the event. And thank you for everybody for watching my videos. And if you haven't seen any of my other World Finals videos, links to all of them will be in the description down below. And also, my Instagram will also be there as well, so you can follow me on there. And yeah, it's the end of another first quarter, as we do have some stuff coming up in quarter 2, coming up soon. And as my next show for real life will be in Sunrise, Florida, coming up on August 2nd. I'll also be heading to Orlando on August 3rd. That'll be really fun to do. That'll be my first ever 2-city weekend for monster trucks, something I've never done, so we're going to make some history, so be sure you stay tuned for that, and we're very excited. And in the meantime, stay tuned, as this next weekend will be my diecast Monster Jam World Finals for the diecast tour, and we'll start to see some content come out tomorrow. So be sure you all stay tuned for that, and we're very excited for our 26th Diecast World Finals. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. So everybody, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you guys can be notified when more Monster Jam content comes your way. Alright, bye-bye, everybody. Have a God bless day, and I cannot wait to see you all at Monster Jam World Finals in Salt Lake City next year. Peace out, everybody. Have a God bless day, and be sure to check out all the videos.